Hello everyone, Michael here from soundinvestigationstudio.com. Today I want to explain some things about compression which can be very confusing. I want to clarify this for you so you could get better at mixing. This is probably one of the most confusing tools that mixers need to use. First thing I want to do is to play you a piece of this song so you could hear what the compressor is doing when it's applied to the mix. I let the song play, and while playing, I will bypass the compressor plugin.
What's that? Hey! Well, I'm coming home.
This is definitely energy and fatness difference. Without compressor, there's a lack of excitement in the mix. If you move the compressors, whole mix simply becomes weak and it doesn't hit you in the face. Of course, it also depends on which genre of music are you producing. So in today's video, I want to show you how to think about the compressor. Okay, let me pull up a compressor so we can get started. First thing you need to know is that compressor is actually an automated volume fader. You should think about your compressor in that way. It's the same as these ones. What compressor is actually doing is simply turning down the volume when it's needed. It's a volume controller. What I want to do is to show you all the knobs on this compressor and explain them really quickly. I'll break more deep into them in the next videos. Okay, here's a stock compressor in Cubase. It's a great example because it has all the main knobs. The first two I want to show you are attack knob and release knob. People always want to know which is the best possible attack and release time for different instruments and for vocals. But that really depends from one situation to another. Attack is telling to the compressor how quickly to start turning down the audio. For example, when signal of the snare drum hits the compressor, how quickly do you want to grab that fader and pull it down? That's all that attack knob is doing. Fast attack pulls down the fader immediately after hearing the signal, and slow attack will take a moment and then starts turning down the volume. The release can be understood as the opposite of the attack. It's telling the compressor how quickly to let go the fader and let it reset to its original volume. So the attack says how quickly to turn down the volume fader, and the release says how long do you want to hold the audio down, or do you want to quickly let it go. It releases the volume fader back to its original position, so it can get ready for the next audio wave. Okay, that's all about attack and release. The next knob is called threshold. It's right here, as you can see it. It happens to me in the past that a lot of time I tweaked my knobs and thought that my compression starts to sound good, but then I realized that my threshold was set down to 0, which means that there was actually no compression happening. Compressor is not squeezing all your audio and dynamics. It squeezes only the audio which is above the threshold. If the threshold is high, then you're not turning down much. Everything below the threshold is not getting compressed. This is very important to realize. Threshold is telling the compressor to only turn down the audio that crosses over a certain volume, and everything else below that volume, don't touch it. Well, that's simply great. Further on, ratio knob tells the compressor how much to turn the volume fader down after the compressor is activated. High ratio means that you pull that volume fader way down, and lower ratio will pull volume down only a bit. And the last thing is this makeup gain. A lot of people calls it different, and it has all kinds of different names in the plugins. The most common are output gain, makeup gain, or makeup. Well, here's what's important to understand. Usually, when people are talking or thinking about compression, they think about making things louder. Well, that's wrong. Compressors do completely the opposite. They make audio quieter. They squeeze and compress the audio. That's why they are called compressors. Unless you turn down the gain up at the end of your compression process, you won't have a louder track. You'll have a quieter track. And we don't want the track to be quieter. If we want that, then we could simply turn down the volume fader on the track, right? After the compressing, we want to bring up the audio at the same volume level as it was before doing any compression. So what we want to do is to balance input and output signals. So you can greatly influence on the work of the compressor with all these knobs, telling the compressor exactly what you want it to do for you. That's really powerful. You can tell the compressor to only turn down the loud parts of the track for you. After that, you simply raise the volume with the makeup gain and your quiet parts will become as loud as your loud parts. That's it. If you like the video, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also get my free ebook called Tips for a Better Mix if you subscribe to my mailing list. If you have any questions related to the topic, feel free to contact me or simply leave a comment below. Once again, Michal here from soundinvestigationstudio.com. Thank you for watching and see you on the next video.